Also, it's very important to make excuses for your brothers and sister, even if they don't make excuses for you. And remember when I talked about forgiveness, when we do that, when we forgive each other, we don't forgive each other because the person in front of me actually feel guilty about it, or feel bad about it, or feel remorse about it, or because he came and apologized. We forgive each other so we can have our peace of mind, so we can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Trust me, the other person, whether you forgive him or not, he's gonna go and do whatever they want. They wouldn't care, right? And of course, if they don't care about your feelings, right? But even if they come say sorry and things like that, even if they did not change, just forgive them. Just forgive them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we're gonna stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I told you about the Al-Qantara, the place we're gonna be standing before each other. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be the judge. And each one, we're not going to be paying money, because there's not going to be money at that time in the day of judgment. We're going to be paying from our good deeds. So the other person will take my good deeds, and if I am oppressed from somebody else, I'm going to take the good deeds from the other person. You see? And so we have to be very careful and, just forgive. And when you forgive and you stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while you already forgive him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. It's a greater reward for you. Subhanallah. In one of the books, it's called Shu'ab al-Iman. It talks about the belief and about the faith. One of the scholars, he say, a believer seeks excuses for his brother, whilst the hypocrite seeks mistakes. Subhanallah. When I love my husband, or a woman loves her, loves somebody, even if she sees the flaws of that person, she still loves him. She still would do anything, to please him, right? And the same thing with the guy. But then after that, all that crush goes away and the reality comes. You start seeing each other mistake. We start pointing fingers at each other, right? And be careful. When you point a finger at someone, notice that there are 3 other fingers pointing at you, right? So be careful when you point one finger at one person. There are 3 other fingers pointing at you. So before you go and point other fingers and start judging each other, point finger at yourself and say, what did I do wrong? Subhanallah. If you hear something from your brother that you reject, then make an excuse for him, up to 70 excuses. And 70 excuses, that doesn't mean that exactly 70, but it means like a lot of times. And sometimes when someone says something to us that hurt us, the first thing comes to us is the negative thing. And yes, actually, that's always happening in our life, that we always, when something happened to us, we always remember the bad things. We don't really remember the good things. We always remember the tribulations. And we say, yeah, it just took a long time to go through all that tribulation and that test. And the good days and the good times, they go so fast like this, right? Subhanallah. So it's because in our nature, that's in our nature, that we always, like, when something happened to us, we always forget the good times. And we're not grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's start being more grateful and try to make some excuses for that person. And even that, if you sit by yourself and try to think about it, write them down. Maybe this person didn't say Salamu alaikum for me when they came in the door because they were thinking about something else. Maybe because she was on the phone talking to someone. Maybe she's in a bad day. She is having a bad day. Try to make some excuses. And if you cannot do it, then say, perhaps he has an excuse, I don't know about it. So try to put the bad, negative excuse as the last resort for you. Unless it is really obvious that you know that he did that purposely because, they said that purposely. Other than that, try to say, I don't know, and make excuses for your brother and sister. Inshallah.